Good morning. Sorry about the lack of filming in camp last night. Well, I got to the shelter and it was full of a group of southbounders who were having a good time. And I went and found a place to hang the hammock in a tent site a little ways away and thought maybe I'd get to do a little filming there. It was far enough away that I wouldn't feel self-conscious about that, but northbounders started showing up right after me. So I got there about 5:04, and they kept showing up, and some of them kept walking. I don't know where they were going, but about 5 or 6 ended up tenting or hammocking, one hammock, within about 25 feet of me. It was a pretty densely crowded area. Well, and so I didn't film any. Nothing much happened. And had an uneventful night. Temperatures got down into the mid-50s. There's some bugs here. Got up this morning a little after sunrise, about 6:15, and actually managed to pack up and leave camp in just over an hour, about 6:20. 5:15 I got up, 6:20 I left. And we've done the first summit, which was a short but steep climb up to the wooded summit of Surplus Mountain. And now we're going to descend down to a notch, Dunn Notch, and then we'll start ascending. And let's see, down to Dunn Notch is about another 3.2 miles, and then 8.8 onto a road crossing. So, yeah, I'll show you the map. It's a gorgeous day, not a cloud in the sky. Temperature's warming up slowly. It's supposed to be back into the 70s, low 70s, I hope. So, on we go. The thru hikers, of course, I left before a couple of them, and they're just blowing right by me. Any thought that I might be in thru hiker shape is quickly dispelled. They're not even breathing hard. After leaving Fry Notch Lean-To this morning, we climbed up Surplus Mountain, and now we're going to descend down into Dunn Notch, where we'll cross a river and then start climbing. We'll cross a road and then reach Surplus Pond, continue climbing Wyman Mountain, and then after that we will descend down to Hall Mountain Lean-To, where we'll spend the night. The profile map for today looks like this. Not too bad overall. And that's a total of 10.5 miles. It's 8:30 and we are at Dunn Notch and the west branch of the Ellis River, and it's very nice. There are cascades upstream and down, but they're not that easy to get to, so we're not going to go look for them. I'll show you the top of the cascade going down. So that's nice. So we're now going to begin, of course, to walk uphill. I'll get you some numbers in a bit. And to start that, we need to go up there. So when I got across to the other side of the brook there on the AT, there was a blue blaze trail and a sign that said that the upper cascade was only 0.2 of a mile. So I decided we'd come take a look. We'll have to hop some rocks to get a good view. So that little side trip cost us about 15 minutes. It's now 8/10 of a mile up to the next road crossing. So 20 minutes after 9, we crossed the paved East B Hill Road. A couple of northbound through hikers hanging out there, hoping to get a ride into Andover. We have 1.8 miles to go to get to the next feature, which is Burroughs Brook, which is the outlet to Surplus Pond. I don't know if we're going to be able to see any of Surplus Pond or not. And we'll probably filter water for the afternoon there. Well, it should be a slight uphill grade, which means there'll probably be some steep parts and some not so steep parts. But we're doing okay. So, and the weather's still quite fine. Well, we arrived at Surplus Pond at about 10:30, and then we took our pack off, took a break, fished some water out of the outlet stream to Surplus Pond, and filtered it to refill our hydration bag. That took about half an hour altogether, which I didn't mind taking a break, but you know, the fact that that takes about half an hour is the reason why I try not to do it more than once during the day. And unfortunately, since it's the outlet to Surplus Pond, that water's a little warm. Other than that, it looks fine. But I would have preferred a cooler stream. Can't have everything, of course. So we now have about 3 miles, just under, I think, to the partially wooded summit of North Wyman Mountain. And it's a gradual ascent till there. Actually, it kind of levels off towards the end. And as I say, it's about 11 o'clock now, so, you know, maybe 1 o'clock or so. A little sooner, hopefully. Still no change in the weather. Still next to no bugs. I'm still doing pretty good. Through hikers pass me on a regular basis, but that's to be expected. So we arrived at the north peak of Wyman Mountain right around 1 o'clock. You know, even though the trail leveled off some, it was extremely rocky, rooty, and the vegetation is pretty dense in places. So hard to make really good time. Anyway, the guidebook says that the north peak of Wyman Mountain is partially wooded. And you know, it's like the weather forecast. If they say partly cloudy, I infer that to mean mostly sunny, more sun than clouds. So partially wooded should be more clear than not. But in fact, it's completely wooded. There's no views up here really at all. So, well, that's a disappointment. So we'll have no views at all today. Yeah, hard to believe. Anyway, I'm going to rest a little bit, and the rest is mostly downhill. It's 1.2 or 3, I think. 1.3 miles on to Hall Lean-To. where we hope to be spending the night. So I arrived here at Hall Mountain Lean-To at about 2 o'clock. Well, a little bit later than I might have guessed, but still a reasonable hour. There were 3 northbound thru hikers here when I arrived, but they had plans to go on. Not surprisingly, you can't get to Katahdin on a timely basis if you end your day at 2 o'clock in the afternoon. But that's my schedule. So I looked around out back of the shelter and did find there's quite a large camping area, and immediately found a place for my hammock and tarp. I was intending to then, take a minute and check to see how many other hammock and tarp places I could find in the camping area, but about 20 after 2, a large contingent of southbounders, young ladies from apparently Quebec, showed up and began setting up tents like mad. So now I feel like I'm intruding if I go over there, although I have to go over there to leave, but then again I don't have to leave until morning. I already have water. Yep. So that's the situation here. So it's 3 now. We're all set up, and well, I guess we'll just hang around a while until it's dinner time. Nothing special going on.
All right. Well, I guess that'll wrap it up for today. We did about we did 10.5 miles on the AT, and that 0.2 of a mile side trail to the waterfall and back. Tomorrow we've got about 2 miles more than that. And we'll be going up and down, I think, a little more than we did today. So, could prove to be a challenging day. Well, we'll just have to see. A lot of it has to do, not so much the up and down, but the condition of the trail. The trail was rough today, but there's roots and rocks and excessive undergrowth. But there's no reason to think it'll be much better tomorrow. So it appears that if this group of, I'm going to say about 20, it must be a few less than that, young French and Canadian ladies hadn't shown up, that I'd be here alone. It doesn't seem evidence of anyone besides me and the French-Canadian ladies. So, that's interesting. And last night I wouldn't have been alone, but without that large southbound group, the shelter area would have been a lot less crowded. So it may not be that the trail is inherently crowded here in July in Maine. I might just be having some bad luck. Don't know. Time will tell, perhaps. Alright, well, I'm sure we'll get up early again tomorrow morning. Good night.